Ladies and gentlemen, from the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice, Deacon Gerald Celente.
Hello, everybody. This is Deacon Gerald Celente of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice. Not a time to be very happy right now. I'm very sad to see what's going on in the world. And of course, as the publisher of the Trends Journal, I have to read and write about it day in, day out, week after week. So I know the details of the atrocities being committed. And most of the people don't have a clue what's going on. As a matter of fact, the latest poll just came out in America that some 48% of the people have no clue of how many people have been slaughtered in the Israeli genocide against the Palestinians. And it just keeps continuing to get worse. A lot of lies are being told. Remember when Hamas attacked and they said they were beheading babies, and Biden repeated that and he said he saw the pictures of it. But of course, they didn't have any pictures of it. And it's the same thing with the rape charges. Again, not according to what we're saying, but from the information that's been out there, that it's getting you to hate somebody, just like Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda, which was a total lie, but you hated him. And then Bush's father's first Iraq war, they said Iraqi soldiers were going into hospitals in Kuwait and ripping babies out of incubators and stabbing them. Total lie, made up. So this is from Al Jazeera. They say that forensic analysis show Hamas abuses many false Israeli claims. Yep. All the details are there. Not what we're saying, what they're saying, so you could argue with them about it. They're saying that the investigations have carried out forensic analysis of the events of October 7th, when Hamas fighters launched an incursion into Israel that has transformed politics in the Middle East. They go that investigations by the I unit, which has examined hours of footage from CCTV, dash cams, personal phones, head cams of killed Hamas fighters, also found that many of the stories that came out in the days following the attack were false, and that Israelis were killing these people. So that's only part of it. And it just keeps going on. Physicians, this is from the Libertarian Institute, describe most appalling atrocities in Gaza. A group of 4 critical care doctors who were recently in Gaza spoke to the United Nations panel about the horrors that they've witnessed in the besieged Gaza Strip. The doctors described multiple war crimes, horrendous injuries. Quote, I can certainly bear witness, as can any medic who's been on the ground in Gaza in recent months, and dispel the notion with absolute certainty there is mass indiscriminate bombing, killing many, many thousands of civilians, and a very clear targeting of healthcare facilities and healthcare workers. And this is according to Nick Maynard. And he is a doctor from the UK. Just one of the many comments. War against children rages in Gaza. Oh, who said this? Oh, probably some anti-Semite. That's what they're doing. Anybody that condemns the genocide being committed by Israel is condemned as an anti-Semite and a Jew hater, as I am. And as people know, I've been threatened to kill the Goyim Italian for speaking out against peace. The war against children is unfolding in Gaza Strip, and hostilities have already claimed the lives of more than 10,000 minors, according to the UNICEF spokesman, James Elder. UNICEF has called this a war against children. Some 40% of the people killed in Gaza are children. Where's the outrage? Oh, and we have a little clown boy of nothing. That's the House Majority Leader, a house of cards. Mike Johnson inviting the mass murderer Netanyahu to speak to Congress. And then, of course, the big news in America is that they're calling for a ceasefire. The United States has vetoed 3 ceasefire resolutions. The last one that they pushed through this past Friday that was canceled by Russia, China, and Algeria, according to World Socialist website and many others, was a fraud. The fraud of Biden's call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Unlike multiple ceasefire resolutions previously vetoed by the United States, the latest resolution explicitly links the ceasefire to the achievement of Israel's military goals. The resolution ties the call for ceasefire to the demand for the release of hostages by Hamas, stating, quote, "The Security Council determines the imperative of an immediate and sustained ceasefire, and towards that end, unequivocally supports ongoing international diplomatic efforts to secure such a ceasefire in connection with the release of all remaining hostages." They go on to say, this is a restatement of language used by Biden in the warmongering State of the Union address earlier this month when he declared, quote, "Hamas could end this conflict today by releasing the hostages, laying down, quote, their arms and surrendering those responsible for October 7th. Earlier this month, Biden declared, the defense of Israel is still critical, so there's no red line where I'm going to cut off all the weapons to keep slaughtering all the Palestinians. Of course, I added that last part. Yep. So the ceasefire, again, you read the comments from Algeria, China, and Russia showing what a fraud it was. Israel seizes some 2,000 acres of land. Yep. In occupied West Bank. Stolen land in violation of the Geneva Convention and UN Article 242. Israel's finance minister, Smotrich, has declared 800 hectares, again, that's nearly 2,000 acres, almost 3 miles, in the occupied West Bank as state land. Quote, "Where there are those in Israel and in the world who seek to undermine our right to Judea and Samaria and the country in general, we promote settlement through hard work and in a strategic manner all over the country." In other words, stealing land anywhere they want. Smotrich said, using biblical names. How about this? As the deacon of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice, I don't believe in your Bible. How about that? Oh, you don't have to believe in the one I believe in. What does this have to do with something that happened that was made up baloney a couple of 1,000 years ago that gives you the right to steal and kill? Oh, it says in the Bible that God gave you this land? What God you talking about? Not my God. You're a murderer and a thief. Oh, we're allowed to be murderers and a thief. It says so in the Torah, right? Yep. The change brought about, the U.S. Goes on to say that the settlements built on Palestinian territory Israel captured in the 1967 Middle East War to be illegal. Israel itself disputes the view, citing the Jewish people's historical and biblical ties. What a bunch of baloney. Stealing more land, stealing more land, stealing more land. And then Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law. That's right. The Kushner father, who was brought up on crimes and was sent to jail, that Trump gave him a free ride. Yeah, that Kushner family. The Kushner family, when Netanyahu came to the United States, he stayed at the Kushner's house. Yeah, those Kushners. Jared Kushner under fire. This is from Politico. For calling Gaza waterfront property valuable. Jared Kushner, former President Donald Trump's son-in-law, said the waterfront property in Gaza Strip is, quote, valuable. It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, he says. A little bit of an unfortunate situation? You mean the slaughter of some 35,000 people? The destruction of Gaza, bombing it to ruins, hospitals, schools, mosques, homes? Unfortunate situation? But from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out. Oh, you mean throw the Palestinians out? Yeah, that's right. Move the people out and then clean it up. Oh, you mean clean it up after you all bombed it to ruin? This is outright genocide by the definition. And this was not reported in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or most of the United States mainstream media. Genocide. Clean it up. He then added that Israel should move the Palestinian civilians into the Negev desert in the country's southern region. Throw them in the desert. We're taking over that land. Oh, you're going to build another Trump Tower over there? You bet I'm outraged. They go on to write, Kushner's comments come on the heels of a Republican attempt to diminish or minimize Palestinians' claims to territory and nationhood amid the Israeli-Hamas war. GOP lawmakers, little lowlives, lawmakers, have insinuated they wish to see Palestinians leave the land currently occupied and administered by Israel. Occupied and administered by Israel. One Tennessee Republican advocated to kill them all when confronted by Palestinian activists. This is America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. What a joke. As I've warned, on February 22nd, 2022, 2 days before Russia invaded Ukraine, which I'm totally opposed to, as I'm totally opposed to what Hamas did. But totally understand why they happen, because I write about these events in the Trends Journal as they occur. So, as I said, World War III had begun, from COVID war to Ukraine war to World War. That was the cover of the Trends Journal back on February 22nd, 2022. Russia invaded on February 24th. World War III has begun. We've been warning week after week, month after month, for the last year and a half, that Ukraine, we said they're going to lose from the beginning, they're going to launch major attacks, false flag events, to escalate this war, because they're losing support and they need more money. And now it's happened with the bombing of a Moscow concert hall. Over 133 people dead and over 150 seriously wounded in the attack. Russia's blaming Ukraine. The United States is blaming ISIS. World War III has begun. Israel's ramping it up, and Ukraine's ramping it up. Just as most people don't know about the deaths in Gaza, most people have no idea that World War III has already begun. And nothing is being done to stop it. Not one penny from the billionaires for peace. Nah, we thank you all for donating. We need much more money to make this happen. And of course, I'm being condemned for speaking for peace. The FBI, the Ulster County District Attorney, they don't care. Let them kill Celente. He launched Occupy Peace. We're not for peace. We're for war. We're war whores. That's America. It's disgusting. People better do something, because if we don't, I've been warning about this. You know about it. I'm the first person to call it. Judge Andrew Napolitano even says it. Celente was the first one to say this. And now more and more people are seeing it. The NATO member states are preparing to put their economies, quote, on a military track, Latvian Foreign Minister Karins told Deutsche Welle, DW, on Friday. And then we had the Secretary of State, John Stoltenberg, a little warmongering boy, saying that we need more weapons. According to the NATO chief, in 2024, 2/3 of NATO member countries will spend more than 2% of their respective GDPs on defense. And he keeps calling for more. So there you have it. Those are the facts. And that's the story. It's only going to get worse if we don't unite for peace. And again, death to the deacon, because he loves peace. Everybody that's for peace is banned from the mainstream media. You're not allowed to speak a word about it. You're only allowed to speak for war. And again, in your Trends Journal, week after week, we're listing all the people of Europe that are saying, get ready for war, get ready for war, get ready for war. And I was condemned for talking about the Polish Prime Minister Tusk, who said, the era of peace is over. We're in a pre-war era. How am I hated for saying, how dare you say that? This war will wipe out humanity. Be a nuclear annihilation. And again, people better do something. Please do what you can do. I'm doing everything I can do. Thank you. Amen and amen.